Welcome to miniOrange. miniOrange provides OAuth single sign-on solution for Joomla Marketplace. Today we are going to see premium features of miniOrange Joomla OAuth Client Plugin. Premium features of miniOrange Joomla OAuth Client Plugin are 1. Attribute mapping, 2. Group or role mapping. Now go to miniOrange OAuth Client Premium Plugin. First you have to register with miniOrange. Then click on Configure OAuth tab. Then configure your OAuth provider application with Joomla OAuth Client Plugin. Click on Attribute Mapping tab. Now let's see the attribute mapping feature of OAuth Client Plugin. Do test configuration in the Configure OAuth tab to get attribute mapping details. Then click on Configure OAuth tab. Click on Test Configuration button. Here we get attributes from OAuth server. This column gives you attribute name. This column gives you attribute value. Here we got attribute details. Now click on Attribute Mapping tab. Enter the attribute name from OAuth provider to map with Joomla username attribute. Copy the attribute name for username. Paste the attribute in the field of username. Enter the attribute name from OAuth provider to map with Joomla email attribute. Copy the attribute name for email. Paste the attribute in the field of email. Enter the attribute name from OAuth provider to map with Joomla name attribute. Copy the attribute name for display name. Paste the attribute in the field of display name. Enter the attribute name from OAuth provider which contains groups. Copy the attribute for groups. Paste in the field of group attribute names. Click on Save Attribute Mapping setting. Attribute mapping has been successfully updated. Now let's map the Joomla's user profile attributes. Copy the attribute name for phone. Now select user profile attribute as phone. Paste the attribute in the field of OAuth server attribute name. Let's map the Joomla's field attributes. Now create field attribute in Joomla. Go to users, then click on fields. Click on new button to create field. Enter the title of field. Select the type of field as a text. Enter the name for title. Click on Save and Close button. Field created and saved successfully. Now go to Components and then miniOrange OAuth Client, then click on Attribute Mapping tab. Now enter the user profile field attribute. Copy the attribute name. Then paste in the field of OAuth server attribute. Click on Save Extended Attribute Mapping. Attribute mapping has been successfully updated. Let's see how it works. Click on Configure OAuth tab. Then copy login URL. Now open new browser or private window. Paste the login URL and search it. Log in with your Azure AD credentials. Log in successfully. Now go to the users. Now go to users, then click on Manage. Let's click on user's name. Here you can see users' attributes are updated accordingly. Click on User Profile tab. Here we can see user profile attribute as a phone got mapped. Click on Field tab. Here we can see field attribute for country got mapped. Click on Close. Go to Components, then click on miniOrange OAuth Client and then click on Role or Group Mapping tab. Now let's see the role or group mapping feature of OAuth Client Plugin. Click on Group or Role Mapping tab. If you want to enable the role mapping, click on this checkbox. Select Default Group for the new users as Administrator. Click on Save Role Mapping Settings button. Role mapping has been successfully updated. Click on Configure OAuth tab. Then copy login URL. Now open new browser or private window. Let's see how it works. Enter the login URL and search it. Log in with your Azure AD credentials. Log in successfully. Now go to the users. Now go to users, then click on Manage. Here we can see user role is updated accordingly. Now click on Components and then click on miniOrange OAuth Client and then click on Role or Group Mapping tab. Click on Configure OAuth tab. Click on Test Configuration button. Copy the attribute value of groups. Click on Role or Group Mapping tab. Paste this attribute value in the field of Author. Click on Save Role Mapping Settings button. Role mapping has been successfully updated. Click on Configure OAuth tab. Then copy login URL. Now open new browser or private window. Paste the login URL and search it. Log in with different users' credentials. Log in successfully. Click on Users, then click on Manage. Here we can see new user is created with new user role. Congratulations! You have successfully tested features of the Joomla OAuth Client Premium plugin. miniOrange provides best single sign-on solution. Thanks for watching.